I'd like to give an opportunity to my dear friend Norm Leech to maybe say a few words with us. Again, the importance of understanding where we are, we have to remember how we got here. And for folks who have been taking care of this place for 10,000 years, more or less, it's always important to hear about the experiences, particularly in terms of understanding and appreciating the unique geographic realities of our land here. Norm is the executive director of the Vancouver Aboriginal Community Policing Center since May 2016. He is from the Tiitamek Nation community, which basically surrounds Lillooet. And he has the Vancouver Aboriginal Community Policing Service is a nonprofit society that doesn't just do policing. Their main focus is on addressing social justice issues, improving safety, building cooperation, facilitation, and partnerships in order to help Aboriginal communities, but others as well. So thank you so much, Norm. I'll let you say maybe a few words as well.
Thank you, Yosef. And hello, Tarek as well. I apologize for being late. Amazing topic. And again, an amazing group of people you've been able to gather together to discuss it. Did you want me to still do a land acknowledgement?
Absolutely. I think it's not just at the beginning. It is something that's always important. And I think formalizing things too much sometimes detracts from the actual meaning. It might actually make people think a bit more that we took it out of order a little. So
okay.
Please.
So the way I do it tends to illustrate the relationship that Indigenous people have with the land. So I always acknowledge the land itself first, because the land was here first. It has provided everything. Every cell and molecule and atoms of our body came from the land. And the land is actually a relative of ours. We think of her as that way. She's our oldest. She's our greatest grandmother. And having provided everything without question, without limit, without condition, without interruption, everything we've ever eaten or drank or medicines or shelter we've ever used, she's provided. And to do that in such a way forever is essentially the definition of love. So Indigenous people have that relationship with the land, knowing that the land loves us and has provided us so much more than we can ever begin to repay. And so having thanked the land, we acknowledge the people who've taken care of these lands. And where I'm sitting in actually Burnaby, it's been the Musqueam and the Squamish and the Tsleil-Waututh people who've cared for these lands in such a good way for 10,000 years at least, that it was actually better than new when the explorers arrived, because the people understood that it was their responsibility to leave it as good as or better than it was provided. And they have. And so in acknowledgement and gratitude for the many gifts that they've received from the land and the universe, they've done a good job so that we can sit here in a circle and discuss these important topics in a good way in order to help each other and the people and the land itself as best we can. So I don't know if you wanted me to discuss your topic at all, or.
Well, a completely open, Norm. I think one of the topics I think that would be beneficial, especially from your perspective, is that relationship aspect. So a lot of our conversation today is on how to better take care of the climate and the environment, but maybe you might want to speak to the why.
Well, it's the relationship. We don't see the land as property. The land is a relative, so we owe a duty of responsibility to our ancestor. We don't have the right to destroy or pollute or alter it in much of a significant way, except to improve it. So we understand that it's part of a balance that we have with the land. And in exchange for the gifts that we have, it's the greatest gift in the universe to be born human on Earth. there is no better planet, and there's no better being to be than human. And in exchange for that, we're supposed to take care of it. We get intellect, we get dexterity, we get mobility, we get judgment, we get imagination, we get this planet, this weather, these people, these foods, all these environments. Wow. And we get it for a little bit of time. This little bit of time we each get. And we're supposed to take care of it. And that's our understanding of what it means to be a good human being. And we did that for 15,000 years. And we understood the balance and we maintained the balance. And that's the gift that we have of judgment, to see and to understand and to see imbalance and to try to restore balance. And so we did. And if anyone had ever asked us, and when they arrived here, can you show us how to live here in a good way? We would have told them, yeah, absolutely, we'll teach you. But hardly anyone ever asked. So we've tried these colonized ways for, well, in BC, 300 years now. We've tried and we've tried and we've tried. And as far as we can see, the ways we had, the ways that worked for 15,000 years, worked better. Now the trees are all gone. The salmon are all gone. And the buffalo are all gone. And there's not nearly as much clean water as there used to be. And now it's getting hotter. More floods, more fires, and more people getting sick. So good that you're having this conversation. We would love to be part of the conversation, and also to talk about what we still remember before colonization. And our communities still remember, because we are some of the most recently colonized people on the planet. So if people want to have that conversation and ask, how did people live here for thousands of years in a good, healthy, sustainable way for so long? We'll tell them.
Thank you, Norm.